the pre-game or the post-game and then the pre-game to work around a champion that was giving you some trouble? Do you feel then that, how heavily does that factor into preparing for that champion again, or do you just get rid of it?
So I say there's two ways to come into every match: reactively or aggressively. So reactively, you kind of see what did the opposition do last game, what did they pick in this game, what can we do to counter that. It takes a lot of teams do this, but it's a very tough thing to do. An easier way to do it, well, not so much easier, but a better way to do it, I would say, is to be the aggressors. Have a way you want to win the game. Have a win condition that you can control. Go into the game saying, this is how we're going to win. Let's make them adapt to our win condition.
Yeah, a little more straightforward, I think you could say.
A little more straightforward. If a particular part of the opposition's team or their team composition was giving you too much trouble to not give you that win condition anymore, get rid of it. Simply just get rid of it. Let's go straight back into an action plan. Try and make them find out how to get rid of it. But you have to realize as well, you need to have different combos to try and get into the game. You can't just rely on one strategy to win you all of your games. Singapore Sentinels, they used to, when they were back in GPL, used to have a signature seal composition.
Yeah.
But you never saw them pull it out every game. They'll pull it out when they really need it, throw it out, nobody can beat it. Pull it back in when we really need to win a game, throw it out again. You need to have these strategies that win you games from the start to finish.
Yeah, and I think very, very apt that you mentioned the Singapore Sentinels, just due to the fact that Team Fat Rabbit, in the local scene, they're bringing players over from what arguably some would say is the strongest Singaporean team, which used to be the Singapore Sentinels. And people said these guys have the chance, like the Singapore Sentinels did, to lift the Singapore banner high once again, really, really put on a good showing for our region. And they're struggling at the moment. They haven't yet found that level of play. And it seems like they are not going to be banning away King of Wars LeBlanc. Maybe they can take it away.
Lissandra and Castellan open.
Oh, and I just noticed. Dream will be playing instead of Panda Paws in the mid this time around.
The old Mr. RC Snipe.
Very interesting. So
yeah, no Castellan is available. Cassiopeia is available, which Hanoi for Lewis banned out last game. Lissandra is available. Nara still on the table. I feel like if Fat Rabbits don't decide to pick it up here, we'll see Narvin combo coming for Hanoi.
So, interesting statistic for you all. When Dream was playing, the times he's been subbed in, he has played LeBlanc twice.
Okay.
The 2 times he came in, he played LeBlanc both times.
Wow.
And one game, he went 19, 6, and 12. 31 kill participation, and guess which team he was going up against?
Hanoi for Lewis.
Hanoi for Lewis. So, they're saying, we don't need to ban out the LeBlanc, we just need to bring in something that's even better than King of War on him.
Well, Fat Rabbit didn't go for the first rotation LeBlanc pick. Hanoi for Lewis could effectively round out their team comp here with a LeBlanc and a Nar pick.
It's the secret LeBlanc, counter LeBlanc weapon. Dream.
I know LeBlanc more than you know LeBlanc. So when you play LeBlanc, I know LeBlanc more. And that way LeBlanc won't beat me.
That was about as tricky as LeBlanc's, can be.
He knows what he knows that he knows what he knows that he knows.
You could probably extend that chain a few more times, but you're absolutely right. I think Dream is in very much so for the reason that they don't want to expend the ban on King of Wars. LeBlanc saying if that comes up again, we're going to be ready for it. But,
another very good pick against hard initiation team comps. We saw Janna was effective against Fat Rabbit in the previous game. Now banned out by the Fat Rabbit. Maokai taken away too. They don't want to deal with Maokai, which we saw was a huge pick in the top lane for Hanoi for Lewis. Kalista being
very
picked up here by Hanoi for Lewis. And Kalista, when she gets going, she hurts like a truck. A lot of people think that Kalista has this weak laning phase. No.
No. I would not say so. Maybe in terms of burst, but if, that passive, if you dodge just... Because again, level 1s to like 5, you only have one big burst or,
But it is a big burst.
Yeah.
It is a very big burst.
Just stack up those auto attacks. I really like this coming out from Hanoi for Lewis. They first picked, or they had a really strong pick for King of War. You could say a breakout performance when he drops into the mid lane on his LeBlanc. And now they know that fear has been, put into Team Fat Rabbit's mind. They're saving him the last rotation of picks to potentially see the opponent that TFR brings their way. TFR on their hand, though, I think are being, not buying into that trick and are going to save the last pick themselves for the mid lane.
Let's see, because Lissandra could still go into the mid lane.
That's true, yeah.
Dream could play Lissandra. Jokebot could pick up something else for the top lane because Hanoi Flores have not shown their mid lane or top.
Would you go for the Gnar again? Again, we said we didn't see the Gnar ultimate. There were a few teleports where he was in mini Gnar form.
I actually
looked a little shaky.
I don't like Gnar up with this team comp for Fat Rabbit. However, I don't see what else they could play. Maybe they could potentially play Kassadin and Lissandra top. I would like that a bit more than Gnar, but it's going to be very tough for them to pick Gnar into Hanoi Flores' team comp.
Yeah, and if you run the Kassadin top, that means the Gnar can lane against the Kassadin, and that's not fun for Kassadin whatsoever.
That's true, and for Lewis right now, they have the choice of their mid lane and top laner. If they pull out Gnar here, I think that if they pull out Gnar here, Fat Rabbit don't need to. If they don't pull out Gnar here, Fat Rabbit don't need to pull out the Gnar in return.
Oh wow,
Kassadin,
man.
Instantly. And Jace,
wow.
Signature Vietnamese pick being picked up by Hanoi Flores, and Kassadin being picked up. Now Fat Rabbit have a really interesting proposition. LeBlanc is being hovered over. They could send Lissandra to top lane, put LeBlanc in the mid lane, have a very good laning phase against either Jace or Kassadin.
Yes, but not both. You can only have one of those options.
Yes, but Lissandra should do well against either. Theoretically speaking, Lissandra can bully out Kassadin early, can do decently well against Jace.
I worry though because the Kassadin, it's just going to be out of control. Yeah, I actually kind of like the LeBlanc a bit more because you can explode the Kassadin the moment he jumps in, or get the jump on him. Force the ultimate to be used defensively rather than offensively. So let's see where the lane matchups go. Looks like the way it's stacking up. Yeah, Jace mid, that's rather expected. Kassadin top. Okay, so the Lissandra, as you pointed out, will have that stronger laning phase.
Yep.
And I think this is perhaps where, again, the junglers, Calvin, as we said, he looked at the lane, said, we get LeBlanc going ahead, our team will just, be absolutely crazy. King of War, I wonder, is he going to roam as much this game? It's not quite the same as LeBlanc. And if not, perhaps Calvin will focus more on getting Violet ahead on his Kassadin. This could be very interesting.
Calvin did a very good job last game. I was speaking to a few members of the Fat Rabbit during the break, and they mentioned that even when Hanoi Flores played against Asus Fate, on the red side, Calvin did go up into a gank bottom lane, back to blue buff, back to a gank bottom lane. So he's heavy pressure on the bottom lane when he's red side. They say, however, blue side should be different from Calvin. So let's see the different play style from him coming out here. He was very aggressive, very focused on getting that bot lane going, and was very good in getting the gank off in the mid lane too. Let's see what he decides to do on Jarvan. Jarvan, yes, has as much aggressiveness as Lee Sin, doesn't pack as much damage, but has a lot more crowd control to help out.
Yeah. And let's not forget too that if anybody gets bound by or hit by the Dark Binding, dead. Absolutely dead.
Done. You get hit by the Dark Binding, you get hit by Morgana, and then you get the Soul Shackle too.
Yeah.
Morgana would just spine to your face, pew, pew, I'll fight.
And it's really such a smart pick if you think about it. It wasn't first pick, they secured the Jarvan with that. It was their second rotation, but you think about what the few times that TFR were able to turn the aggression of Hanoi Flores on the head was with the anti-stun onto their AD carry. With the Black Shield available, suddenly that's not an option anymore. Nope. As long as the Black Shield's on point. And of course, Scary was very, very on point with his Janna even, resetting the fight. The moment the flash came in from the stun and the Tibbers, he immediately pressed his, his Monsoon to reset the fight. So Scary, very, very much on the ball in terms of keeping his carries shielded, protected, whatever it's needed to give them a second lease of life after the first engage comes in from TFR.
Yep.
And Pesh Chap, once again, on the Graves. Like we said, he was a very steady influence on the team in game number 1, despite all the chaos going on.
Yep.
Is it enough, though? Is it enough?
I feel that Pesh Chap is the cop of Singapore. He's a very sturdy AD carry. He knows when to play aggressive. He knows when to be passive, and he's always does very well in lane. He's always able to farm it out, always able to go even at least. So on the last game, got camped heavily by Calvin, still came out even in terms of kills, didn't die as much, and still had an even, if not more, minion score lead than Shin did at the bottom lane. He's very good at staying even, and he still has great position in team fights. But at the same time, he's not your double lift. he's not your Piglet. He's not the type that will just dive straight in head first and try and pick up as many kills as he can, or try and make a play for your team that will change the game.
And that's something I noticed as well when I was casting him, you know, in the Singapore-Malaysian circuit between those two guys.
TLC.
The Legend circuit, that's right. Going all the way to the grand finals. I said the one thing that stands about him as a player is that he plays so safe that the only time he flashes is either to escape, or if he's flashing offensively, one auto attack and one spell. You know, it's never to kind of lead on to a greater chase or chase beyond. One auto attack and one spell. So, like you said, not the most flashy player, not the kind that will really, really duel his opponents a lot, but very, very steady. That was good for them in game number 1, but it looks like Hanoi Full Lewis have stepped up the game and saying, you can't just be good, you need to be great, like 701 LeBlanc.
Yeah, like 701. Let's see if Dream here can bring that 701 LeBlanc, the Dream here to tie out the game. And just speaking of the standings before we go into the game as well, right now, Hanoi Full Lewis effectively lead 1 point ahead of Fat Rabbit.
Very true.
Effectively. If they lose this game, they'll be tied once again. But remember that Hanoi Full Lewis will be going up against Jakarta Juggernauts on Friday, whereas Fat Rabbit will be playing against the Saigon Jokers. So arguably, Hanoi Full Lewis have that easier game against the Jakarta Juggernauts, whereas Fat Rabbit have to play against the giants of the table, the Saigon Jokers. And if they draw this game against Hanoi Full Lewis, they will need to pick up both games against Saigon Jokers unless
A tall task.
unless the Jakarta Juggernauts drop. Unless the Jakarta Juggernauts pick up a game against Hanoi Full Lewis.
And that's kind of the very, very intriguing situation of the GPL as we head into its closing games. I advise you guys to stay tuned, even though, of course, there is a massive skill disparity between some of the teams. Just the interesting scenarios that could arise out of some of these games. After all, Hanoi Full Lewis against the Jakarta Juggernauts. Jakarta Juggernauts, yes, sitting at the bottom of the table without any wins or even a draw under their belt.
Yep.
But when your backs are against the wall, it's the last game you're going to play in the spring split.
I need to win!
Anything could happen.
ARAM, let's go! Master Yi bot lane. Which we did see, actually.
Oh, man. We saw Master Yi.
We saw the Master Yi. Here comes Dream with a dash over the wall.
We saw some crazy games, I believe, to close out Group D, if I'm not wrong.
Aggressive LeBlanc is aggressive in the brush. The unseen Dream is the deadliest.
Can you actually see dreams, though?
Ooh.
Can you, though?
If a tree falls in Summoner's Rift, no one's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound.
How do trees fall in Summoner's Rift?
Maokai.
Right.
Maokai.
You know, I've always wondered where Maokai gets his saplings from. Like, you know...
30 seconds.
Well, I know J-Storm has a very good analogy where
where
Maokai gets his saplings from, and it's not very stream appropriate.
Oh, okay. Well, a PG version then of it. Like,
no, there is no PG version for this.
Like, are they part of him? Or are they his like cousins? Does he scoop them off the floor?
I like to think they're his magical saplings. You know, he just has a lot ready. He just pulls them out. They're like mini poros. Like, hey!
No, but I worry because you know they have voices, they have faces,
they explode.
and they explode.
They're little suicide bombs.
Exactly. What's going on here?
It's touchdown saplings. That's what's going on.
It just seems strange to throw your children to, you know, a fiery doom. It's not right, man.
They seem to want to.
Shouts of glee. Shouts of glee.
Very
No
happy.
Maokai in this game, though. I have to say, Maokai after the rework has some, you know, fantastic effects.
Will we see a D-Dan from gank bottom attack?
Ooh.
SKT Lee Sin here. Dream already dishing out the pain onto King of War.
Now, I have to say my favorite lane matchups are the ones where somebody, you know, the opposing member gets the champion that the other member just had a fantastic game on. Because you're playing the one-up game. You're like, yeah, you went 7-0-1, but I'm going to take this champion now. And you know, you watch, and hopefully that person gets scored. If not, you just make yourself look a little bit silly. Like that. Alright, never mind that. It's one CS.
Not going for the Gromp attack. Instead, he's going to go take a red buff, it seems. Jarvan's already in the top lane.
Yeah, ooh, here we go. Calvin once again with his gank-heavy style. Lissandra has her path already.
Jump bot. Good job. Out of there, nice and safe. Here he goes. And he's just not in position.
Man, imagine if he had taken a
take
Ring of Frost. Boom, dead.
That's dead. That's a dead Lissandra flash on.
But with Jarvan showing top, D-Dan will be very happy to take the red buff.
Can he even take it?
Has his smite available. He's got a leash. He's got a soft leash as a mute.
D-Dan versus
He's got a
red buff.
soft leash. He's got it. He's got it.
I want him to die.
Wait,
It's not very nice, but it's cool when he does die. Things like that. Well, D-Dan is going to be able to pick up 3 buffs if he heads back to base.
Yeah, that's a much different start in terms of jungle impact from game number 1.
I feel really bad because this is the exact meta for Moscow 5. This is the Moscow 5, man. This is the see hero, kill hero, and jungle invasions are painful.
That's true.
Bring back the Moscow 5. Genja, come back. Darian.
Yeah, you know, it was really when Darian would, push his wave with Shyvana in the top side and then go into the enemy jungle, to the camps. That's when I really started to watch Moscow 5. I said, these guys, man, they are all over the enemy in their jungle. Similar to actually, well, not so much in his enemy jungle, but, kind of the opposite. He was hitting the lanes just so frequently in game number 1
or Diamond Procs, how he'd play Shyvana with Flash Smite, run after his red buff into the Dragon Pit, flash.
Oh, hold that! Calvin coming in for the knockup. First blood not quite secured, but they do trade back 1 for 1 so far. D-Dan has committed to this. Where is his safeguard? Maybe he has the flash over the wall. Trying to juke away from the flag, and Drag gets away with his safeguard. SKT skin, very, very strong. Look at that, though.
Channeling his inner Faker Senpai.
Yeah, there you go.
Channeling.
You go.
Successful.
So, both junglers.
D-Dan.
Very, very similar in hitting the lanes. And yeah, D-Dan loves to play the dangerous game in the jungle, getting knocked down by the minions or the jungle camps. Very, very low.
I feel like Dream didn't really have to die in the mid lane there with Lee Sin hitting the Sonic Wave. I thought that Dream could have stayed back and a bit more passive because the Sonic Wave did 1 tick of damage. It does so much more than that. You didn't need to die.
Yeah, could have pieced out, had his flash as well.
But it's hard to say right there and then. Still very hard to say.
It's one of those situations where, if you don't secure the kill, you don't stay and secure the kill, your teammate, and you even, you'd go like, man,
you might
really
both die.
Yeah. Calvin now gets the smite onto the wolf camp, so he's going to have sight of D-Dan.
He's going to fight him. Fight him. Yeah!
Ooh,
smite.
Chilling smite. Crazy Pine here. How aggressive will he be? Black Shield actually a bit too late, so the stun hits. Peshchap sliding over the wall. Shin, remember, Black Shield was just used. D-Dan aggressive with this. Doesn't actually manage to get the slowdown though. Uh-oh, that Dark Binding is going to cost Peshchap for sure. Doesn't even bother flashing away. Knows it's a done deal for himself. King of War, have the Gears of War started to churn already. King of War 2 and 1 after that. Not looking good for TFR. You have to say a little too much blood to the head right there as they chase onto Shin, not respecting the TP as well as the second Dark Binding that was coming in.
They didn't respect a lot of things there. Like I said, second Dark Binding, TP wasn't respected. Jokebot didn't follow through with his, which could change it around. But I think the thing they didn't respect the most is Callista. They didn't respect the stacks of the Ren that were put down onto D-Dan, and when it popped, it hit like a truck. Yeah. And when it hit like a truck, D-Dan said, "I'm out, peace, got a flash." Gun out there, and Peshchap's like, well, thanks, man.
Yeah. It was right at that moment, actually, where the Dark Binding hit Peshchap. Because, with D-Dan flashing away and Safeguard not on cooldown, really there was nobody to body block whatsoever.
Peshchap just like, guys, I thought I had friends.
And this is where I start to worry a little bit for TFR. Like I said, Peshchap, he not only doesn't flash aggressively, he doesn't use his gap closers offensively unless it's, again, one auto attack or one, skill, one spell that can get the kill right there. He technically quick drawed when that opposing member of the enemy team was, dead already. And then he got caught out.
Yep.
Had the discipline to not use his flash, but that might show perhaps a little bit of a mentality. Oh, look at this collapse on the King of War. Absolutely brutal. They say, buddy, you may have 2 kills, but we're going to give you 2 deaths as well. Twice as many deaths as just now, or rather.
Shutting the MVP of the previous game down.
That's
like,
right.
No LeBlanc for you, no kills, no nothing. You stay in the graveyard, you die.
And you can really see the mentality, just how hungry they were to shut him down. They know his flash was expended already. They still know it's on cooldown. I mean, competitively, you always keep track of the opponent's flash. But we saw Jokepot flash for the ultimate right there. So, really, really hungry to keep King of War down. Calvin looks like he's going to keep the blue buff alive until King of War respawns.
Yep. This
big
is a
minion wave
dragon
being.
attempt. This should be a dragon. D-Dan, what are you doing?
What is he waiting for? This is very interesting. He knows the mid laner has already backed off.
It's called happy feet right now. Jan invented this term, happy feeding, where you just walk around the jungle and he's like, I don't know what I'm meant to do. Let's go have a look at everything and see if that works. Which it doesn't. You need to make a decisive choice on what you want to do in the jungle at all times.
Every second counts. And right there we saw blue pings as well. The deep ward in the dragon pit did catch out
every
dance
second.
movements.
Every minute, 60 seconds passes in Africa.
You're so deep I can't see you anymore, bro. I've lost sight.
Shin is alone. Doesn't have the bond, which is connected to Morgana. Ooh, missing the W is not very good at the 2 chains though. 2 chains gonna deal a lot of damage.
Ooh, he's got the ignite running, just needs to flash it for one more auto attack, perhaps not even. Ooh. Nicely done by Dream. Like we said, this is what he needed to do. They needed the mid lane to stabilize, if not take over.
No LeBlanc for you.
That's right.
Out.
Fantastic play from Dream. Oh, Crazy Pine getting checked right here. Great Black Shield to actually stop the stun return. But here comes Jokebot. Black Shield will eventually end. And fantastic. They lock down Shin. And that means the ultimate can be used onto Scary. Fantastic double kill coming in from Jokebot. Calvin, this time very much so absent from the lanes. That will open up Dragon after the double kill in bottom.
Where has Fat Rabbit been that first game? This is what they need to do in game 1. They are stepping onto the play in game 2 though. They are showing their aggressive side here. You see the Dark Binding land? Tyra just turned around saying no.
Really, really just fantastic play from them. I mean,
yes,
a little
job.
bit telegraphed when, Shin kept walking forward for the harass. They called in the TP immediately. And, D-Dan already on the
instant.
way.
Dark Binding, yep, Jokebot, we need you, come down.
Really, really good play from them. And you have to say a little bit greedy from Shin. Actually flashed, way. Oh! King of War! Finding that the flip side.
2-4, no.
The flip side of war isn't so fun. It's fun when you're the king of the hill, but when you're the one that's scrambling to get to the top, not so fun.
Yeah, no. Not good.
Really, I must say, this looks like a revitalized TFR. I think they rightfully identified that King of War can't afford to go, all crazy on them.
Nope.
And they've really done a good job to keep him down. Time after time, every time he gets back to lane, it's get him down. And this is a similar trick, if you want, that's being a similar strategy, rather, you could say, that Hanoi Full Lewis played on them in game number 1. Is you focus the mid lane so much that you draw the jungle pressure. And Calvin, we said he was focusing bottom so much.
Did they both know? Oh, wow, that was
I think they know that they know, but oh, look at that. A nice double kick to actually knock them both away. Double distortion from Dream, but that means no more escape paths. Oh! Can he get out though? Can he get out? Oh, man, questionable worth as the money goes over to the entire team of Hanoi Full Lewis, so everybody getting in on the assist bank right there. But if anything, must have felt good.
Didandu!
Frees up the lane as well for a bit of a push. If bottom can make that minion wave crash, they certainly have the positioning onto both Shin and Scary. Looks like they're not going to find anything from it. Oh, they know the jungler's off the map. They really want to go aggressive on this.
Scary. Scary, my friend.
Literally scary on both sides. I think Shin was like, oh, hell no, I ain't going in on that.
Shin's like, no, you scary, Morgana. You scary.
That was a little bit weird. Strange. Hanoi Full Lewis, it does seem that they perhaps, if you take, if you put them under pressure, they don't seem to be performing very well. As you can see right here, kills being picked up left and right now on the side of TFR.
Bot lane too now. Shin actually gonna die.
Oh, Pashchep himself finding the kill. They really need to pick up another one here, but Calvin slides into the minion wave, dodging out the Sonic wave. But my goodness, TFR.
Uh-oh, Calvin and Scary gonna die.
Oh, yep, they've got him.
The Dream. 1-1 the Dream. Can he do it?
Dream is about to become real. Oh, Black Shield has already been popped. Calvin, goodbye. Crazy Pine taking up what he can. Looks like the aggro swaps over to Peshchep, who has been binded under the tower.
No, he's not. They get 2 clean kills.
All right. You know what? This casts my mind back to the pregame and how you were talking about reactionary and aggressive play.
This is aggressive.
full-on aggression from TFR.
Full on aggression.
It's working out
That's right.
fantastically for them. 5,000 gold at 13 minutes. 13 minutes in the past game, we said Hanoi for Lewis was, really, really ahead, and that was like a 2,000 gold lead.
Yes.
This is a 5,000 gold lead.
This is 313. I want to start a petition. I want to have the next league of the GPL. Can we get Dream and Scary to play bot lane together so we can have Scary Dream?
So Singapore Vietnam exchange
Yes.
compilation.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. We see that Shin actually going for the Infinity Edge rush on his Kalista. Kalista's still one of those very interesting champions that, due to the way her her ran stacks work. Oh man, goodbye Shin.
The juking. Sneaky showed this once.
Jokebot actually doesn't have any mana.
There's not much you can do against a very good Kalista.
He just used the last bit of his mana on one Q, but
you just killed the Jarvan.
they're tightening the noose onto Shin right here. Let's see. Shin Flash still not available. He's buying time for that, I think.
The net has been thrown.
Didan! Goodbye.
Didandu.
Yeah. It sounds silly when you say it, but 5-1 and 4 is nothing to laugh at. Didan.
Didandu. 5-1-4. They just knocked on Hanoi for Lewis. Can we borrow Lee Sin and LeBlanc? We will show you how to play these champions.
Again, this question, where was this TFR in game number 1?
More importantly, what happened to the Hanoi for Lewis? They were dominating game 1. This game, now they're really on the back foot. They're playing scared. They're scary right now. King of War looks like a jungler now. He just wants to fight. He wants to fight for jungle. I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to go to mid lane anymore. It's too scary out there. It's too many demons. I just want to go back to the jungle. There's raptors and wolves.
As a jungle main, I take offense at that. You take that back. You lanest.
I'm a jungle game too.
Fish is a lanest, if anything.
I'm a jungle main.
No, but I think, more seriously, it's true that what we're seeing here, and this is something that perhaps...
Dark Binding.
This is something that perhaps if the Jakarta Juggernauts want to play the upset game when they go up against Hanoi Fulos is, don't play scared against this team. If anything, the moment you get a little bit of a foothold against them and you go aggressive, they seem to falter a lot.
I mean, it takes me back to when I was playing in Indonesia and the Bangkok Titans came over to the tournament for a show match and they played against the top team there, which wasn't Jakarta Juggernauts at the time. It was another team called All Hail who placed second behind Jakarta Juggernauts.
Ooh, that's aggressive play right there.
Yeah.
How many ultimates do they want to expend? How about 3? My goodness, flashes used as well. 2 flashes, expensive you have to say, but when you wipe the jungle off the map, that dragon is yours through and through.
And like I said, Jakarta Juggernauts, Team All Hail. Team All Hail played against Bangkok Titans in a show match. Amateur team against the pro team. Yeah, they went 5-man bot level 1 and got a double kill. They didn't play scared. And then they lost in 40 minutes, so. But
lesson,
the moral of the
holds.
story is don't play scared.
Yeah. And I think this is a lesson that perhaps not only, TFR definitely needs to take into them in future games, going up against side jokers. Again, we said top of the table, I think we're right to say that they are a better team that they're going up against than Hanoi for Lewis, but look at how far ahead they are of Hanoi for Lewis. And just as I say that, Didan a little too far ahead, you have to say, of the rest of his
Kelvin
team.
Dude! No,
Gets taken out. No, it doesn't quite work. Nevertheless, really can't play scared. Oh, Dream. Definitely this LeBlanc pick working out for him. 5-1 and 7, looking to only increase that score. May not be the clean sheet that King of War had, but definitely a very, very good showing.
Dream's gone. I don't need minions. I farm champions. Exactly what he's doing now too.
So, Hanoi for Lewis. What exactly are... Oh,
they pulled it back.
Wow, very aggressive repositioning. Scary just likes to play scary. That's my analysis. Spot on. Spot on. Interesting. That Hanoi for Lewis, I haven't been keeping all too close tabs on their ward coverage, but it does seem that definitely when they fall behind, I think the reason why they've bled so many kills is that the ward coverage has been rather sparse. And this is why they're finding pick after pick, or rather TFR is finding pick after pick even into the enemy jungle. Only now they have that defensive pink ward. There you go, you see, when your jungle's not warded, they just swing around that Raptor camp, find yet another kill on the very squishy Scary. Man, he gets obliterated.
Oh man, this is Fat Rabbit being incredibly aggressive in game 2 here. They want that 1-1. Hanoi Full Lewis, they are behind, but they still have a chance here. They really need to regroup and rethink their strategy. They're not too far behind, but once again, they're tasked with a tough choice. How do they approach team fights here? What do they need to do in order to get back into this game?
Well, they have a few options available to them. You can see King of War, while he's down a bit, he can land a good amount of poke, but I really have to say that the Castellan really hasn't been found doing anything. You know, he's been caught out a few times. Yes, it's only one death, but his CS score a little bit down as compared to a 503. Had a good TP before. Oh man.
Freeze!
Shin just
Freeze! No? Freeze!
There we go.
She's just like, okay, I'm done joking. Kill me now.
Yeah.
Done. Peace.
And in terms of options, wow, Dream dropping rather low here. Nice fancy feed coming in, but Crazy Pine,
Crazy Pine's like, guys, I'm just a little girl.
Man,
I can't do this alone.
Yeah, a crazy girl that drops a flaming bear onto your face. And of course, let's talk about Annie a little bit, actually. You know, Annie has been changed in 5.2 as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's gotten that Tibbers buff, where you drop the Tibbers down and then she goes all crazy. Or not, she goes all crazy. Tibbers, oh, Calvin! Calvin's gonna die!
No, Calvin!
Calvin! Oh, man!
Just die to it, it's funny.
You're such a mean. You're such. I would not like you.
I would have died to it.
I would not like you to be my League of Legends competitive coach.
Actually, I would have told my team, just die to it. It's funny. It's entertaining.
It's a spectator sport. Why didn't you guys give the crowd more entertainment?
I feel really bad as an Annie main now that I haven't read the Annie changes.
Yeah, so when you drop the Tibbers, he gains a massive movement speed, you know, burst of speed, so you can stick to the targets a bit more. He gets the Molten Shield from Annie as well. The values of that have been toned down a little bit.
Okay.
But it just makes the Tibbers, you know, all that much more scary because not only does it stick to you more.
Suddenly, Leandri's Annie makes sense.
It's really annoying actually to deal with the new Annie. Yeah.
I like Annie. Annie's a very strong
Annie likes you too. And he's just so friendly. Likes to share a teddy bear with everybody.
You know how I imagine Annie as a champion? I just imagine this little girl holding a teddy bear, which is dipped in gasoline, and she carries a light around, just like, here you go, fire.
Arsonist Annie. Yeah, that should be a skin. They should upgrade.
It's like a mini psychopath.
They should give Annie a steampunk skin. I would totally buy that.
Or a mini psychopath.
Alright, so TFR, man, look at this. Taking a tier 2 pretty much for free, as well as the red buff. Once again, folks, I mean, Hanoi Full Lewis don't seem to know how to really play from behind. I mean, yes, they've been caught out multiple times, so it's dangerous to go back into your jungle, but the ward coverage, oh so minimal. Peshchap, this is the most aggressive I've seen in position, you know, ever. Gets tagged by the tower for that a little bit of over-aggressive positioning.
Violet, will he go? No? Okay, no.
The entire bottom side is littered with TFR wards.
Look at TFR stationed in
my
the
goodness,
bottom
yeah.
side.
Oh, they're showing now on the minimap.
Oh, where are you gonna go?
Goodbye. Black Shield once again too late. Wait, collateral damage already has been popped, so a lot of the front load damage has been used. That means a full disengage coming in for TFR. But look at this, Hanoi Full Lewis also a bit too scared to re-engage on this fight. So really, a game of tango between these two teams. Hanoi Full Lewis still feeling like they're a bit too far behind to re-engage, despite many of the ultimates being burnt prematurely by TFR, you have to feel. Dragon is live, that's perhaps a consideration running through TFR's mind, as well as Hanoi Full Lewis. Once they see the backs going through, they could contest a 5v4 potentially. They don't have the vision though. Once again, Hanoi Full Lewis being pushed back this far. No vision.
Very strange. I'm surprised that Hanoi Full Lewis didn't try and force that, because they knew that Didan and Dream were low, who are the two really far players right now, on top of Lissandra.
Yeah, and on top of that, even though the Black Shield was a little bit late, I mean, the anti-stun had been used.
Chains? No chains.
The collateral damage had been used. You know, and just casting my mind back now that I've had a bit more time to your question on what exactly can Hanoi for Lewis do, they need somebody to eat the first round of spells, right? They need somebody to eat the engage.
But
Jarvan
how?
isn't at that point yet. Exactly how, you know, Black Shield can help a little bit, but somebody, perhaps if they can get Jarvan to that point, eat the first rotation of spells, and that's really when Kassadin as well as Shin can close in
Up
for a bit
top.
more damage.
Cassandra finding Kassadin.
Ooh.
Great choice to fight. Kalista now. Will Violet go back in? I think Violet will go back in here. There we go. Rip walk.
Ooh. Goodbye, Jokebot. But Jokebot also just saying bye to his enemies. I mean, if you have that glacial path, you're not going to get caught out. What's his last bit of mana? Has gotten that Zhonya's already in his inventory, doing fantastically for himself. 603 has the double invulnerability play, even going for the cooldown boots just so he can get more control as well as even damage, you could say, in the team fight. Not so much for the burst, but just rotation after rotation. And the items, I think that's really where we see such a huge discrepancy. I mean, if you look at the AD carries even, Runan's has been picked up by Shin, but Peshchap got his Infinity Edge as well as his Blade of the... Oh, not Blade of the Rune King. It's slipping my mind. The Yomus. That's right, the Yomus.
Shin is going to hurt. She picks up what he
Yeah, you know,
picks up.
this is a variation of the Runan's first build. I think has become quite popular.
Just die.
Oh, he hasn't got enough stats on it yet. Now he... Oh my goodness.
Somebody down.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, I've seen this a few times. It's become more common, I think, to stack some flat AD first, but then go, you know, the attack speed, the passive from the Runans. You still need some attack speed from, say, a BF or Pickaxe to make your auto attacks still count. Oh, look at this pick here. Ooh, the Scrying Orb. There's a dead zone where TFR are just sitting in. A dead zone of vision that Hanoi Fuluis has not been able to find.
I don't play competitively anymore. If that was me, I would be like, once this is gone, we take Baron. And we would have lost.
Oh, once again. Oh, so many ultimates onto just one member. Well, hold that thought. The Annie actually held onto by Crazy Pine to try and get another catch. But, oh, this is absolutely brutal coming from TFR. But they need to make up their mind. They seem to just be not able to decide right there. Oh, the chains hit, though. Nice catch by Dream to lock that down for themselves. They have a bunch of options available to them. Actually, Minion Wave's not quite pushing very far on their side, so it most likely will be the Baron call with two members down, especially the jungler. Finding his Dream is dropped a little bit low, and with Calvin up, TFR may have missed their window to go onto Baron.
It's okay, they still pick up 2 kills, which is good for Fat Rabbit. Hanoi Fuluis did a good job of stopping them from going for Baron too, but it cost them too many players.
For sure. I mean,
And
this...
Now they get rid of those pink wards. Those pink wards are denying so much vision to Hanoi Fuluis.
You know, and I think this is something that really the unsung heroes of TFR's aggressive play is when they go towards an area, they drop so many wards, right? Bottom side, the number of picks they had. Oh, might have to hold that. Jokebot wants to close in onto Shin as they heal back up. I don't think Shin is able to get out of this. Well, flashes away. Again, with the cooldown boots, that Q is on such a short cooldown from Sandra. It's silly. It's pretty much an auto attack.
Dream with the Rabadons, Morelos.
Oh, goodbye, Shin. Goodbye, my friend.
Ooh, doesn't even go for the Resident Strike, just kicks him in the face.
Just so much more satisfying that way. And look at this, with 2 members down on the side of Hanoi Fuluis, it has opened up the inhibitor turret and perhaps even the inhibitor itself. Still 15 seconds on the spawn coming in from Kassadin. Black Shield a little too late coming in from Scary. Activated his ultimate as well, but all for naught as TFR still manages to secure the inhibitor. Hanoi Fuluis just not respecting the aggression of TFR whatsoever.
Not one bit.
My goodness, I mean, so many times they probably, you can, I don't know, think that they're shouting, I've got Black Shield, I've got Black Shield. My goodness, there's so much damage coming your way. Your Black Shield doesn't even matter. You just have to peace out. That's another inhibitor, or another structure, getting a bit heavy. Not the inhibitor just yet, but another structure going into TFR's way. They've gotten 2 tier 2s pretty much for free in this game. 23-5. An even more convincing lead than Hanoi Fuluis had over them in game number 1.
Definitely, but The difference right now I can see is Fat Rabbit, they can't really close it out right now.
Yeah.
Hanoi for Lewis, they had a small lead, but when they said it's go time, it was go time. That was game, set, and match. But right now, Fat Rabbit, they have such a nice gold lead, 7,000 gold in the lead. The champions they want to have the gold right now are in those champions' hands. Dream has a lot, so does Lee Sin, so does Lysandra, and so does Petchap on Graves here. It's going to be very hard, very, very hard for Hanoi Fulus to catch a break in this fight, or in this game.
And look at this. Violet Bottom has his teleport, but the vision game once again coming through for TFR. I mean, they even have that pink ward there where Calvin, oh my goodness, how many times? The jungler. You know, Calvin is really good when he hits lanes, but when he's not in the lane.
Calvin is really good at ganking lanes, not good at ganking lanes.
Just not good in his own jungle. He's gotta hit the lane. That's his natural environment. He's the hipster jungler.
He needs to swap with King of War.
All right. Looks like this will be the Baron without a doubt for TFR, as the jungler on the opposing team has been knocked out. Crazy Pine perhaps gonna drop. Nope, just kidding. Uses the talisman to help his team peace out from there. Really, I think this is the final nail in the coffin of the Hanoi Fu Lewis casket, if you will. Dragon is live. Perhaps if Hanoi Fu Lewis want to go for a Hail Mary play, they can go for it now. But I don't think they'll have it, as TFR is already rocketing out of their base, and most likely going to be picking that up as well as the game in a few short minutes.
It should be Dragon into bottom lane. 4 Dragons buffs, a Baron buff. Bot lane inhibitor left to take. Standard play for TFR.
And really, what a fantastic call from TFR to field Dream, especially on this LeBlanc. Number one, I wouldn't say, oh,
why?
Calvin, you have the flash. Oh, doesn't even have his flash. Goodbye, Calvin. Oh, flash W coming in from Joke. Double down, and there is the follow-up from the rest of the team. Petchap finds the double. Oh, Violet, you're playing on the Newcastle, and buddy, your ultimate takes a long time to come back up. Dream on the hunt, never mind that. Finds the second rotation nonetheless. King of War, King of the Grave, more like. 3 members down on the side of Hanoi Fu Lewis. Glowing purple is TFR. They are looking triumphant, glorious purple as they march down onto the Nexus. Shin on his Kalista hasn't really found anything to do except die 5 times this game. And there you go, TFR taking down 1 Nexus turret, taking down the second, going for the Nexus itself. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. TFR tying up this this match 1-1.
Well fought by the Fat Rabbit there. They're able to tie it up 1-1. Hanoi Fu Lewis played really well in the first game, unable to produce similar results in the second though. Fantastic play by the Fat Rabbit there. They executed the strategy very well. And that was definitely not worth Fu Lewis fighting for that final Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I have to say as well for TFR, they need to carry this over into the SAJ game, because no lies about it, SAJ is a different level of Hanoi Fu Lewis. But look at the lead that they had on this team, you know, on a team that crushed them really in game number 1, to crush them to an even greater extent in game number 2.